히트 시즌2.
Welcome back, guys, to the SSL down here at the Nexon Arena. We just got our first player out of the group. It was Stats taking out Deer 2-0 in the winners match.
Yeah, really, I guess in a way, textbook results once Deer beat GuMiho. That was the big factor, the unknown.
Yeah.
It's very likely that they face each other again because Bomber said in his interview before the match that he was scared of GuMiho's TVT. Now he faces him here in the losers match. So he got, I mean, his success versus Stats was further echoed even in Stats' interview about how poorly he felt. He did in that first best of three.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't want to, like,
the coach is getting in there like, dude, what is up? You dropped a game to Bomber. What's going on? Like, are you okay? Do we need to talk about something? Because something must be wrong.
I don't want to take anything away from Bomber, who's one of the most accomplished pro gamers of his age that exists. Like, and he's still
all around the
game.
world too,
yeah.
You know.
There are very few people that are still active as pro gamers of this age, and he is the most accomplished of all of them. But at the same time, I mean, his performances are just not as good as the rest of the players in this group. I mean, it would be crazy for anyone to predict otherwise. He would get out in fourth place. But miracles do happen in Star League, and if he beats GuMiho here in this mirror matchup, he still has a chance. And here he is.
He's able to take one game off his stats. You know, regardless of how it happens, you can take another one. Like, mistakes do happen, crazy stuff does happen. But as you were saying, like, the competition is so high in Korea now that even a guy of his stature, a guy who has, like, been around for so long and is just such a veteran of the scene, he can come in here into the round of 16 and get absolutely crushed. Like, that's possible just because of the level of StarCraft that we have nowadays. Now, is he going to against GuMiho? He said it himself, probably. But what is he going to do here against GuMiho? Is he going to go straight up? Because GuMiho's TVT is also quite strong.
Yeah, this is not going to be an easy match by any stretch of it. GuMiho, a scary player in this matchup, very good at timing attacks. Meg has dropped harassment if he goes bio as well, very powerful. And I think Bomber, to be totally honest, I think this is his worst matchup. He really struggles to multitask, micro his Tankovacs while harassing, while dealing with harassment.
Well, we all remember the game that he played against Forte.
Yeah, that was like, okay, you almost lost a game where you were up 100 supply in a TVT. I really think that for Bomber, he needs to end these games early. He will struggle in the multitasking. TVT is the matchup that, in my opinion, the mirror matchup that is lightning fast. If you make one mistake, you blink at the wrong time, when he attacks you, you lose the game.
He gets his tanks down first, he surrounds you, you're dead, man. So let's jump into game number 1 of the TVT, Bomber versus GuMiho. Back to Dusk Towers to begin the match here between Bomber and GuMiho. Down in the bottom left in the red, it is Bomber from the Afrika Freaks.
And up to the top right, his opponent, Gas First again. It is GuMiho. Just start calling him Gas First GuMiho, one of his like 12 nicknames.
GuMiho.
GuMiho.
Whoa, that's no, we're not gonna say that again. Gas, like, not the best nickname, I suppose.
No, I'm trying to think of other things.
Gas?
Gummy gas. I was trying to work.
But then it all kind of just refers back to, you know, bodily gas, I suppose.
I was trying to think of something with Vespine, but I'm just, I'm at a loss. I don't think it's coming to me. I just think we're going to have to stick with his other 12 nicknames we have for him.
Towel Terran.
Towel Terran, Nine-Tailed Fox. He's got more.
Gummy God.
Gummy God, yeah. Gummy God is the one that I've been calling him recently.
The one true nickname?
The one true nickname, that's right. Destroyer of all other nicknames.
Well, it did win in terms of the evolution of all the other nicknames, so
yeah.
I suppose it does win the fight for now until a new, better nickname comes to take the throne.
or lamer that people just call me out for using. This is pretty cute. GuMiho can be pretty frustrated with this. His CC will be significantly delayed at the cost of money for Bomber. But he also got a good scout on the gas first. So this is a very valuable scout for Bomber and absolutely worth the lost mining time. You always have to think of an SCV scout that is sent out this early as a dead SCV. It's not mining.
Yeah, it's a trade-off, you know?
Yeah, you look at the worker count at the top, it says 20 to 20. It's actually 20 to 19. SCV will go home.
Yeah, somehow it does get away there. But it's actually being escorted, funnily enough.
Oh, no.
So maybe they'll get this back. But look at this timing. That is very unfortunate for Bomber, because not only does it get killed and delayed, but it also gives away what he wanted to do in terms of his build. GuMiho is going to lose his Reaper for this, though.
Yeah. If Bomber hadn't had his Reaper so close by, he might have been forced to cancel. It would have gotten even worse. But here it comes down again. With how low along it was basically canceled. It basically restarted that when he sent the second SCV over. GuMiho has this quick tech. He has this tech advantage. Now he needs to use it. He's absolutely aware of the situation here. Ooh, lining him up. Definitely a late split there by Bomber. And GuMiho losing that Reaper, and actually looks like it will just barely get this one into the base.
What? Shouldn't have lost that Reaper.
SCV could have killed it too. And
yeah.
Now he's not.
Well,
still going to kill this Reaper. Actually, you know what? It's got 12 health left. Nah, it should still get killed. That scared me. I thought we had lag for a second with that sudden showing of the view. Cloak is on the way, and he did not see it.
Yeah, he saw the barracks on the tech lab. So did not see the switch, did not see any other buildings either. So going to be hidden for now. What is Bomber going to make over here? It looks like he is going to start off with perhaps a tank or a Cyclone. Let's see what he wants to go for.
These SCVs were going to go down, but now they're going to be used as a human shield. Let's try to stop these Hellions, a human wall more so.
That's pretty dangerous.
You know what? This is actually pretty effective, though. I think he kind of has to do this, and it worked out. He prevented the Hellions from getting into his main base. That was well done. That was really well done. I'm quite impressed. So he put it at his third base, they would have all died, or at least had to retreat anyways, would have lined up. When they're a wall like that, they're already kind of split in an arc, so you don't get a lot of splash damage on you. Yeah,
it's a cool idea, and it did work out, but now a lot of these SCVs are pretty low for the Banshee follow-up, which is going to be nice for GuMiho. He can get a scout with the Banshees anyway. The Mule just goes down. Yeah. He does have 3 orbitals,
but still no scan. Mule. Luckily for him, I mean, this Cloak is going to finish, actually. There's no luck for him.
Look at that timing, too. No. That's just beautiful. Coming in, there's the Cloak, pushing him away, regardless of if he does have a scan or not. He does not have a scan just yet. No. Should have one very soon.
Just needs to stay away from that Cyclone. 6 kills, only 1 SCV killed. There's another Mule killed as well. 2 SCVs in total now.
Oh boy.
There's the scan and the lockdown here, but he actually might be able to get through that horseshoe. Nope.
Not quite. I think he should have just stayed, maybe pick up an extra 2 SCVs, but hard to tell at that moment. He does have a second one coming over here. Did draw the units away, and there's still no turret.
Yeah, the eBay just finished.
There it is, but it's too late.
Too late. Game over, SCV.
Goodbye. And now he should have another scan here because he knows that this is a potential follow-up. And yeah, he just has to stick around and get another kill.
Grabs that extra kill.
Yeah.
It's funny because if the scan was just a little bit worse placed, he could have gotten away there. Very well scanned by Bomber.
We're going to have mech here, boys. It's going to be Gumi mech. And what is Bomber going to do?
He's getting stim, so
yeah,
I mean,
there we go.
You could already kind of tell based on his build that he was planning on going for some sort of like mixture of the builds at best, but this is interesting because it's Blue Flame Hellions, going to help control the map, can then use them for drops. Hellbat's very potent and very powerful part of mech. Require a lot of medevacs, so he's already starting to build that count because he had the starport earlier. He'll have to scan for it if he wants to commit. I think it would have just barely been out of range. His third Banshee not getting a value. Bomber is 2 SCVs down right now. If he had the faster third base, he had more mining overall. Ooh, nice.
Trades a Hellion for a Cyclone. Not a bad trade there, GuMiho.
The GuMiho is kind of even up the mining now, and what he wants to do with this Nice targeting there by Bomber. What he wants to do with this is slow down the counterattack because he knows that that's where he's most vulnerable right now. Because GuMiho's been committing to pure Hellions, Hellbats now, of course. And he needs to slow this down somehow. He didn't make another Banshee. He's been going pure Medevac. Now we're making Vikings. If we had another Banshee at home, this hold would be easier. But Bomber's not committing fast enough. This is giving GuMiho so much time.
Look at this. He's going to boost in, get right on top of those tanks. The Medevac's still around. They can save those tanks right as they get low. Oh, he actually misses that second one. Big mistake there. Definitely wanted to keep that one alive. And at the same time, the Banshee getting a lot of kills, still alive. Into the back door now. No turret over here. No units even to deal with this.
He didn't have stim. Maybe that's what he was waiting for. That was kind of an issue. He didn't have a split on his Marines, and arguably his tank pickups were late, and maybe it was just kept him in tank. But the second pickup was obviously late, the one you pointed out where he lost the tank. Shouldn't have happened. Bomber's still in this. It definitely weakens his position quite a bit because now the meching player has 3 bases for free. Lost very few units to kill Bomber's one chance of really taking the tempo advantage away from GuMiho. GuMiho has not only shut that down, but we'll have 1-1 mech upgrades to the +1 attack of Bomber's Marines. In fact, did he even get +1 attack? Okay, he did get that, so he at least has that going for him. I assumed he did, but it was off the production tab. I was like, I don't know. Scanning here, he's like, okay, no 4th base. I have the better comp. I think GuMiho's next move here should be to add his own 4th. Turtle up, get that 4th base going.
That's really all
Bomber can attack, like, you know?
Yeah, and also GuMiho doesn't really have the force just yet to go across the map and just kill Bomber. I mean, I suppose he could, but I feel like the safer option is definitely deny a 4th with your mobile Hellions, get your own 4th, begin to set up kind of a turtle location, get your sensor towers up, get your Vikings in position, make sure you don't get dropped, and just get further and further ahead.
I mean, it really says something when in the game you are ahead in mech upgrades versus bio upgrades. And we're watching it. I mean, it's like lining up on the production tab, right above it. I mean, you know, like getting the armor at the same time the +2 plating is coming out. Bomber will have to do big harass damage, come back into this game. Does this old player have enough multitasking in him to turn this game around? That's going to be the question here. I think GuMiho is playing in a style where now he's just kind of like, okay, try to harass me. Try it. Mule with the cane. I want you to come at me. Like, this is...
Mule with the cane.
This is a very tough style to play against because not only does GuMiho have this solid defensive army, but because of how medevacs have worked since part of the Swarm and the fact that Hellbats exist and even Hellions on the ground, like, the Hellbat is such a so well-designed unit. One of my favorite units that we've ever seen added to StarCraft 2. It can allow you to take defensive engagements, allow you to hard engage with medevacs, but it can also be used as mobile harassment. So Bomber will not, this is not like Mech and Wings of Liberty where, okay, he's meching on bio, I just attack him and harass him. If he moves out, I can punish him. GuMiho has also a mobile harassment force, so Bomber will have to attack while defending. And a very real threat he's up against here.
GuMiho spending a couple of scans to get a real-time update to exactly what the production is and what kind of army is there. You see one scan on the army, one scan on the production. And now he's making Thors. Okay, I guess with the second starport that begins, he's like, I guess I'm going to need some anti-air. They're also pretty good against just pushing away the Vikings and the medevacs even in the sky. Don't see it all too often.
This Hellion poke harass was basically just figured out to be wrong after a while. Pulp, Chase, Stress, Wings, Liberty, you can't really do this versus bio. Go back off here. The Thors will help him control air, which is important because he needs these medevacs full of Hellbats to be safe. And in fact, this is the anti-definition of safe. But while he targets the medevacs, actually the Vikings getting some extra damage off. And this ends up being kind of a game of chicken and Bomber works his way into a good position here. That's
really
all it takes.
needing those Thors actually becoming a key part of this situation now. Coming in, there is one. Bomber shouldn't be fighting that. Now with the Hellbats, they're able to boost in with a very low number of Vikings now in the sky. He does push back the tanks and regain control of this high ground.
The amount of, the importance of these medevacs just can't even be described. Just so important that he has those because that's how he's going to engage on this. Otherwise, the bio will rip to shreds the Hellbats before they can hard engage. But look, now that he has the medevacs, he can just drop right on top. These tanks could siege. He has vision. They're just going to scan. And
he's not even sieging. He's like, no, I can just fight you straight up. Now he sieges that he's trapped this army. And all these Vikings kind of in the sky doing nothing. They're going to have to land, but everything of bombers over here does get taken out. Small other force coming in from the left side will also be taken out on the ground.
Yeah, it started to look like it might even be like an okay trade for bomber, but no.
But no, yeah, I mean, that kind of settles it there, right? It's like, okay, he had a very nice position, but once he saw the Thors, he just didn't have an answer, and the Vikings got pushed back. GuMiho took back control, and then he surrounded him up there. He trapped him up on the high ground. I mean,
again, we said this a lot earlier. I'll say it again, and I will always say it. It's just a true fact of being a commentator. We can see everything. Look at the main base of GuMiho. Isn't that a much better location to attack the Doom Drop once you took control of the air? He didn't even check. He didn't even scan. He didn't even think about it. Could have done so much damage to the infrastructure of GuMiho. Instead of fighting a mech army head-on with Bio, he made the wrong choice. GG. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, you said it pretty straightforward. Like, you just don't, you have to drop. You can't fight all those tanks on the ground. It's just too powerful. That's the one thing that Bio gains you, that mobility, the ability to drop everything that you have in one location away from the meching Terran and force them to move, and then maybe go for counter attacks. But GuMiho playing that mech very nicely on that map, held the fourth base very easily there, and that was game number 1. So this is kind of what we were expecting, but that was actually even more one-sided than I was expecting. GuMiho really taking it to him there.
I'm just disappointed there was no attempt to check the main. There were Thors there at first, right? The Thors could have helped shut down the drop. But listen, if you get enough Bio in there, you just overwhelm the Thors. They don't attack very quickly. They weren't in anti-air mode at that time either. Then you get them in there. You do that extra damage to the production facilities. And then you really start to hurt GuMiho because he can't remake tanks. He has to go back. Then you drop. Then that's when you really can move up with your own tanks and hit that fourth base. But he kind of just was like, nah, I won the air war, so you can't drop Hellbats on my army, so I win. And no, tanks are still pretty good. With 2-2 upgrades and maybe even 3-3 at the end there. I wasn't even paying attention.
Not yet, but still very, very strong. And I like the fact that GuMiho takes that base instead of the other fourth base, because if you take that other one, there's like 2 different angles, even 3 different angles that, you know, potentially the Bio-Terran could attack you, but also it opens up that Doom Drop even more into the main. But if you're making Thors and holding the high ground at that other fourth base that's closer, you're going to